Should the people of Taiwan feel more or less secure after your meetings with President Xi?
Neutral. Neutral.
Has the policy changed at all?
No, nothing's changed.
U.S. policy?
No, nothing's changed. I will say this. I'm not looking to have somebody go independent and, we're supposed to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking for that. I want them to cool down. I want China to cool down.
But you're waiting on approving billions of dollars of weapons for Taiwan.
That's right.
Is that moving forward?
Well, I haven't approved it yet. We're going to see what happens.
What are you looking for?
I may do it. I may not do it.
Yeah. What's your hinge point?
Well, I'm not going to say that, but I may do it. I may not do it. But we're not looking to have wars. And if you kept it the way it is, I think China's going to be okay with that. But we're not looking to have somebody say, let's go independent because the United States is backing us.
Understood. That's the strategic ambiguity element of that. President Trump telling Bret Baier that the U.S. policy on Taiwan remains unchanged after meeting with China's President Xi in Beijing. It comes after Xi gave a warning to Trump that China and the U.S. could clash over Taiwan if the issue is not handled carefully. Joining us now is Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow and China and National Security expert Steve Yates. Steve, your thoughts about where we're at with Taiwan after that relatively, direct statement. Essentially, if we could pop out that full screen, President Xi that stressed to President Trump that the Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations. If handled properly, the bilateral relationship will enjoy overall stability. Otherwise, the two countries will have clashes and even conflicts. So that was not reissued by President Xi, but it was issued prior to the meeting. Why?
Well, Brian, this is one of those things where, I've been involved in these meetings in and out of government for the last 40 years, and there's a version of this that comes in every senior exchange. It's the question of when and how. The foreign ministry under Xi Jinping is actually where the wolf warriors have come from in recent times, and that's a way of talking that is a bit more blunt. And it makes it easier for their diplomats to sound polite with their counterparts while China is still taking a fairly aggressive public position. But they have been consistently blunt in the Taiwan set of issues. And really, the president should be somewhat reassured. Taiwan hasn't been really declaring anything. The uptick in tension in the Taiwan Strait has been China putting blockade-like exercises out there pretty much since this former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, visited Taiwan.
So, Steve, we'll put up a map and we'll show you where China has been drilling really since 2024. This constantly happens to the point where they're almost used to it. In the beginning, it was jarring since the former speaker decided to go over there. And they haven't really stopped. Every time a high-ranking official goes there, they get all rattled. But we do have a couple of networks broadcasting from there. Here's what Marco Rubio said about China and Taiwan and what they understand.
They always raise that issue, and we understand they raise that issue. From our perspective, any forced change in the status quo and the situation that's there now would be bad for both countries. One of the things the Chinese emphasize, which we agree, is strategic stability in our relationship, a constructive relationship, but also one that establishes strategic stability so that we don't have misunderstandings that could lead to broader conflict.
But it's not just us, Steve, that wants to make sure Taiwan has its sovereignty. Japan, South Korea, Australia, they all want that. Could you explain to people at home why it matters?
Well, it matters a great deal, and that was exactly right. Japan, I think, has been the biggest X factor in the direction of being clear that peace and stability, the status quo, freedom of navigation, all those things are vital to Japan's national interest. More than 50% of the world's global container shipping goes around the waterways proximate to Taiwan. Taiwan has one of the highest valued stock markets in the entire world, surpassing the United Kingdom recently. There is no possible world in which China continues to engage in this blockade-like exercising, heaven forbid, actually strike the island of Taiwan, where we wouldn't have catastrophic drops in global markets within 24 hours. And so this is not a political issue the way China is framing it. It is a geopolitical, geoeconomic issue that we need them to be much more responsible about. And with that, the president is offering a golden alternative path. He brought companies to China whose aggregate value comes close to that of all of China. So if they will choose this more moderate path of prosperity and cooperation, the president's saying, hey, we can do business in energy.
Right.
We've got these great companies. You need to open up. I thought the opening up theme was appropriate and good. But we just have to see what the follow-through is. As some of your setup pieces were indicating,
right.
We've been through big deals with China before. The catch is always in the follow-through.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, think about what China looks, anyone looking at Taiwan, what China could be if they just had democratic principles and beliefs as opposed to the brutal communism that they live under. That little island outproduces most of the world. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Steve.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.